Are you doing well, folks? Quick video, pretty simple tip for portfolios. There's a ton of portfolio advice out there. However, if you follow these 4 systems, and I'll just bring this up because it's kind of in front of my webcam. If you follow these 4 systems for any 3D games art role in the games industry, you're going to be doing a pretty good, you'll be doing your part, in terms of portfolio. When you apply for a job, you're going to give the employer, the lead, the art director, whoever it is that's going to be reviewing your stuff portfolio wise, they are going to get the information they need in terms of your creativity level, but also how you actually work. Because in a lot of cases, especially with junior portfolios, the way you work is incredibly important for giving you that extra edge over the next person that might not have the same sort of shots that you have, right? So there are 4 systems I recommend. Make something like this, make a template, drop your images in. Do they have the same flow? So what I'm going to do is, what I've done is I've gone to my last 3 shots. This is more recent. This is about a year. And when I made these shots, this is for a lighting portfolio, but it can, again, this system, the 4 rule system, can carry over to anything you want to do. So if I zoom out, max sort of ultra wide style or whatever you want to call it, and if I just scroll down in here and just take note of the types of images you see and how they end. All right, so this one's from the start. I'm going to go down, how it ends from the start. I'm going to go down, how it ends. And when you look at this, you start to see the DNA of how I've structured these images. They're not random. They are following this sort of system. So the system is pretty simple. Your beauty shots go first. These are the shots, your main artwork that you've done, your single render, your double render, your 6 to 8 renders, whatever you want to call it. I generally try and keep work under 12 renders total if need be, because then you get like scroll fatigue. If you're like, constantly scrolling down and it's like, okay, I've seen loads of cool things, but let me get to the next piece. So other than that, start off with the beauty renders. Then we move into construction. How have you built it? For a lighting artist, this can be many things. There are some subjective opinions on what should go here. But for me, I put the lights I've used. So I'll either put an image of the lights I've used, or in this case, I'll put a GIF, MP4 file of me enabling and disabling my lights. You can also put your lighting optimization view here. That shows you your, your overriding lights that are crossing each other, that sort of green, blue, and white, purple view. Haven't done it with this piece. Maybe I could do that to enhance it further. And then you can show wireframes, light maps. Your character artist, you can show your animation loops. Basically, how have you built it? Wireframes, texture flats, lighting views, lighting only, the stuff that you did to actually build the stuff. That's very important in this day and age. The A/B. What is the A/B? A/B is basically a before after, and we call it A/B because you go from A to B. It's a very good technique for the games industry in general. So if you do the A/B for your portfolio, you'll be doing really good for when you get a production into a production environment, because the A/B is the #1 tool to show art directors and lead artists who are very, very busy and they may not remember what they've told you, or they may not remember what it looked like beforehand. Very good way to show what has actually changed and what has been done. So the A/B being a before and after, more so for maybe a lighting artist on their portfolio. So the A/B is basically for a relight is what the scene looked like before, the default state of the scene, and what it looks like with your changes. So if you change the camera, the set dressing, the lighting, that will become apparent. Now, again, if you're doing environment art, I don't think you'll have maybe block out before after, or a block out image of showing how the block out goes to the final image. But again, this is more for, works really well for relights and relighting and all that sort of stuff. So we'll have a look at the A/B on here. Again, so A/B of the original render and the new render, and an A/B of this one as well. And they're all roughly following the same process as well with these sort of things. So beauty construction A/B, And then I always end on reference. I think reference is incredibly important to have on a portfolio. I don't see it done enough. Your reference is key because in the industry, a lot of your decisions are done via reference because, again, I say it all the time, there's 100 ways to relight something, 100 ways to do the environment art for one project and set dressing. What are your inspirations and mood? So I usually end in 99% of my shots, other than this one, because I was this was my very first relight, so I was quite passionate about the feedback I got and wanting to thank those people. But I usually thank people now in the description box. But usually it ends with your pure ref, your Miro, whatever you want to call it, because what you're doing for your reference is important. Every role should have their reference towards the bottom to show where you've come from. And that's it. Beauty, construction, A/B reference. And when you look through it at max distance, you know, they all follow that sort of pipeline. It's not random. It's designed in a specific way. And I recommend that you design your work that way so that you can give yourself, one, the best chance of getting a job in the industry. Two, if you and somebody else apply for a job and you're both at the same skill level, around the same skill level, you've both got great personalities, they love you, what's gonna edge you over? Because there are many scenarios in the industry where two people have done an art test and they've done really well, and they'll look at both portfolios on two monitors and they'll be like, what do you think? What do you think? Well, you know, I can see the breakdowns of this person. This person doesn't have a breakdown, so we don't know if they actually know how to do production work, because production is very, very different to portfolio. So are you showing signs that you are optimizing where possible in some of your work? Show the reference to where you've come from, show the A/B, the before after, which is incredibly underutilized, I feel, on ArtStation by folks. And it is really good to have to see to pay homage to the original and where you've come from. And like I said, the A/B will serve you well. Put any relevant information in your description. So if you're relighting the original relight project and where it came from, just so that you don't confuse employers that you made the scene when you probably redressed it. Any asset packs and stuff. Also, the people that gave you feedback, I recommend you thank them in the description box. Like I've done here, the original relight, whoever gave me feedback on it. Some pieces of work, I get more feedback than others. Some I don't at all. It really depends. But that is how you can have the most clean package for your portfolio on top of your consistent thumbnails. And I've made videos on how to make consistent thumbnails. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 5. I do hide some of these if I apply for jobs. This is a non-job state portfolio, so it does show a lot of my old work. More like an adventurous journey thing. But are your portfolio renders of your thumbnail consistent? Are they zoomed in at an angle? Do they look like they could be a packaging to a present? Does it have consistency? This is going to be one of the key things when I do future portfolio reviews on the channel, which are coming, by the way. I'm going to be looking for these things. I'm looking for construction shots, consistent thumbnails, beauty shots in the right way, and showing all these sort of making ofs and constructions and basically this system. Can you do this system? If you can, you'll be good to go. That's all I got today, folks. Hopefully that helps, and I'll see you soon for maybe some portfolio reviews. Peace.